I'm William Holtz.
And I'm Ashley Kyle, and this is your Lake of the Ozarks news update brought to you by Lake TV and LakeExpo.com and sponsored by Yacht Club Power Sports and Quick Car in Osage Beach.
And Ashley, it's our year-end edition of the news update where we'll bring you our top 10 stories from around the lake for 2015, from floods to fishing tournaments, the incredible generosity shown by so many. The lake area has seen a high water mark for news this year. We'll look at some of the biggest stories of the year, the good, the bad, and the in-between. That's coming up after a word from Yacht Club Power Sports.
Yacht Club Power Sports has expanded to ensure you have fun on both land and water, on the trails and on the road with Can-Am, Kawasaki, Victory Motorcycles, Arctic Cat, and Polaris, which introduces the 2015 Slingshot. On the water as the world's #1 Sea-Doo dealer, and are proud to introduce the Supra and Moomba boat lines to the YC Power Sports family. Look for our new showroom this summer off Formula Way in Osage Beach, and you can find us off Highway 63 in Columbia. Yacht Club Power Sports, where the fun begins and never ends.
Number 1, readers of USA Today and 10best.com voted the Lake of the Ozarks the best recreational lake in the country. The poll was in July, and thousands of people cast their vote to say what those of us who live at the lake already know. It's truly the best. In second place was Big Bear Lake in California.
Number 2, the 27th annual Lake of the Ozarks Shootout brought speed and excitement to tens of thousands of boat racing fans. Race organizers say the event brought huge crowds and raised $175,000 dispensed to local charities, nonprofits, and fire departments. The community is the real winner when it comes to the shootout, but the winner of the boat race was American Ethanol. That's an ethanol-powered catamaran owned by Lightning Performance Group and boasting an impressive more than 7,000 horsepower. American Ethanol hit 208 miles per hour, and the bright yellow boat made its mark on Lake of the Ozarks history.
Number 3, here's a story that made its rounds on social media a few days before Christmas and might be one of our favorites from the year. A local business owner took $2,000 of his own cash and handed it out to folks in need around the lake. This secret Santa wanted to stay anonymous as he brought comfort and joy in the form of $100 bills to a dozen people from Sunrise Beach to Lake Ozark. The Camdenton Sheriff's Department drove Secret Santa around the lake, finding people in need, from drivers stranded on the side of the road to a family in the Walmart parking lot who had to put gifts back on the shelves because they couldn't afford them. Many families experienced a small Christmas miracle because of one man's generosity.
Number 4, cars can't swim. The Lake of the Ozarks is popular for boating and fishing and even swimming, but a couple of cars, yeah, that's right, a couple of cars landed in the lake this year and proved well what most of us already knew. They aren't good swimmers. In April, a man putting his fishing boat at Public Beach number 2 forgot to put his Ford Explorer in park, and it then rolled into the water. The SUV sank, but was still attached to the trailer and boat, so a dive team and tow truck eventually helped pull the soggy SUV out of the water. And then in August, the driver of a Ford F-150 was backing down a boat ramp. It's not clear whether the transmission failed or if he just forgot to set the brake, but the truck was soon floating in the water next to the boat. It was pulled out by a tow truck.
Number 5, emotions ran high across Missouri and Iowa when a special prosecutor announced a manslaughter charge against Missouri Highway Patrol Trooper Anthony Piercy in December. Piercy had arrested 20-year-old Iowa resident Brandon Ellingson for boating while intoxicated in 2014. Ellingson fell out of the boat when it hit a large wake. His life jacket came off and he drowned while handcuffed. Special Prosecutor William C. said the charge of involuntary manslaughter implies Piercy acted with recklessness. Ellingson's family has sued the Highway Patrol for tens of millions of dollars, and a former sergeant with the patrol has said the agency tried to hide evidence during the investigation.
Number 6, case dismissed. Anger rippled across the lake area when a local man who had admitted to the rape of his infant daughter was released from jail and the charges against him were dropped. That man, Aaron Michael Fisher, was let go on a technicality after a judge who was new to the case ruled that his constitutional right to a speedy trial had been violated. Fisher had waived that right in a previous hearing, and prosecutors say he was the cause of most of the next delays. State Representative Rocky Miller has called for the impeachment of Judge Patricia Joyce, and the case had been submitted to the State Attorney General's office in appeal of Joyce's decision, and Fisher has reportedly since left the state.
Number 7, the lake was higher this year than anyone has seen it in a very long time. Lakefront homes were flooded twice when Bagnell Dam operators couldn't keep up with the heavy rain in central Missouri. The first flood happened at the beginning of 4th of July weekend. Floodgates were opened and the lake rose to more than 662 feet above sea level. That's more than 2 feet above what's considered full. Homes, yards, and docks were seriously damaged, and the situation was made worse when boats cruised across the flooded lake during what is normally the busiest weekend of the year. Then it happened again on the last weekend of 2015. Areas around the lake saw about 10 inches of rain in a 3-day period, and the floodgates were opened wide. Nearly 750,000 gallons per second flowed through the dam, and the water just kept rising. Docks broke loose from the shore and began floating across the lake. Homes were damaged again, and many who had lived at the lake for decades said they'd never seen the water this high.
Number 8, no wake, no way. Wrecks, injuries, and dock damage were blamed on large boat wakes this year, and the outcry from the community drove state legislators to action. A public forum was held at Osage Beach City Hall, and the turnout was overwhelming. Most people couldn't even fit inside the boardroom. But when State Representative David Wood proposed a law that would restrict boat wakes, it was met with plenty of pushback. An increase in no-wake areas and a prohibition on boats plowing through the lake were considered by many to be excessive and impossible to enforce. Wood said that the proposal was just in the first step, and the issue promises not to go away anytime soon.
Number 9. What if you could catch one fish and live off of it for an entire year? Well, a Missouri fisherman did just that when he landed a 7.5-pound bass at the Big Bass Bash in April. Justin Swast of Peevely, Missouri is 24 years old, and he won $60,000 for that fish. Justin was the biggest winner, but the weekend was full of happy anglers with over $175,000 paid out over the 2-day tournament.
Number 10, a family together. We're going to end on a high note. It was a local woman with a big heart who got a huge Christmas gift during the Christmas season. That lady, her name Carrie, and she has 10 children, 3 of which are biological, and then she's adopted the other 7, some from horrible living conditions. But they couldn't all ride in the same car together due to their size. So a local family joined with Heartland Worship Center to raise money to buy them a van. Carrie was so overwhelmed and overjoyed by a gift that will help keep her family together.
That just scratches the surface for 2015. From all of us at Lake TV and LakeExpo.com, thanks for watching.
And here's to a happy, healthy new year. We'll see you then.